This is exactly why, regardless of how many degrees you acquire, you are nothing more than a slave. Watch this video till the end.
Let me explain how this works out practically. If you went to college, what's your name? John. Okay, John went to college and got a PhD in physics. I'm talking about nuclear physics. This guy is a brain, he's sharp. PhD in nuclear physics. The problem is, it doesn't matter. You are simply seen as a very smart slave. Because your pigmentation, your nose, your lips, your eyes, your hair is the problem. It doesn't matter. So they actually would tell their neighbor, I have a smart slave. In other words, educating you think changes you. It doesn't. It ain't the brain that makes you different. So the system, the culture, doesn't translate your PhD into being a superior human. It says you are simply a superior thinking slave. So it doesn't matter how much education you get. It doesn't matter how much accolades you put behind your name. It doesn't matter how much you achieve. In the Greek mind, in the Roman mind, which is the leadership that came over, you are still a slave by providence. Do you know that they actually created a theology for this? Because every ideology needs a theology to make it legal. Can I say it again? Yes. Write it down. Every ideology needs a theology to make it legal. So you will find, even like in apartheid had a theology created by the Dutch Reformed Church, which was based on Greek philosophy as well. Because remember, South Africa was taken over by Romans, Europeans. Hitler, if you all remember Hitler, Adolf Hitler was an interesting guy. Adolf Hitler said that he had a visitation from God. You ever read his Mein Kampf? He believed that God chose him to restore the Roman Empire. That's why he had a plan to take over Europe again. He says that he was chosen by God to establish what he called the Third Reich, the third reign of the Romans. And this is why, again, his concept of leadership, his philosophy made it easy for him to destroy people. Remember, you need blonde eyes, blonde hair, blue eyes, sharp nose. Okay. So when he looked at the Jews, for example, the Jews got dark hair, dark brown eyes or black eyes, olive skin. He said, they were designed, they are rats to our society, he says. They're sucking our blood. Must kill them. Why? These are not real humans. The gods have made them to be our slaves. So it was easy to kill 10 million slaves between Africa and Carolina in the water. No, sorry, 60 million died on the ships. I was in Ghana early in this year, and I went to one of the forts where they sold slaves. It's an amazing experience. You should go there. And on the wall was a statement written. It says, slaves left here and went to the Caribbean.
Before I say anything about this video, I need you to read this. I'm going to put it on the screen, but I'm reading it on my screen right now. This is a tweet by Donald Trump, and it says, sadly, if you import people from third world countries, by the way, I don't know who named countries to be first world, second world, or third world. I'll go again. Sadly, if you import people from third world countries, you quickly become a third world country. And there is not a thing you can do about it. Make America great again. President Donald Trump. Now, I know that a lot of us Nigerians, a lot of us Africans are not really thinking about this. From a very tender age, you have been programmed to see people who are not your skin color as superior. And you have not seen how that they have also been intentionally programming their kind to see themselves more superior than you are. You think because you go to school, you can speak fluently, you are very articulate, and you can debate with just about anyone, you have become a dignified human being. But that's not really the case. They called you undignified. They reduced you to the identity of a slave, and nothing good can come out of you. That is what they did. But is that really true? That's absolutely not true. That's not who you are. But that's what they decided to call you from a very young age, so that when you grow up, you see yourself as that. It's a programming, it's a system. So regardless of how much of an intelligent human being you are, until you begin to see yourself different, as unique, you are not in competition with anyone, for the fact that they on the other side are always trying hard to give themselves some form of supremacy, shows that there is no supremacy in the first place. If you are a dignified person, it shows. You don't have to force it. You don't have to create a narrative to make it true. You just have to live it. And so I'm urging you today, if you're an African, a Nigerian, you're watching me right now, living authentically as an African, loving your skin, loving your craft, loving your creativity, loving your soil, loving everything that concerns us, is what makes you dignified. Not because you want to appear dignified to someone, but because you in yourself, you know that you are dignified. And you begin to act like it. You begin to cherish what is yours and rightfully yours. There is nothing else that gives you identity other than that which you know that you are. And you live through it with boldness. All right? The goal for them making you feel like you are nothing is for you to see yourself less, and so you cannot live to your fullest potentials. You will always depend on them. But the moment you know who you are, you begin to live to your fullest potentials, and that is what they are scared of.